Hey there, and welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world to you. I'm Gary Axelbank, filling in for my buddy Daren Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around the Borough of the Bronx and New York City. Coming up, it's first of its kind program that's launching in the Bronx. Learn how the Bronx Chamber of Commerce is partnering with Google to give local entrepreneurs the AI advantage. Then, historic Kingsbridge Armory, please an applause for this. After decades, a powerful Bronx coalition announces a breakthrough community agreement. Find out what the deal means for jobs, housing, and the future of the Northwest Bronx and the entire borough, as a matter of fact. And meet the serial entrepreneur who turned his personal health struggle into a mission to bring honest, scientifically validated wellness to everyone. The story behind MD Logic Health. And finally, he's an award-winning writer and editor whose work has appeared in the New York Times, Grantland, and The Hollywood Reporter. We'll meet the author who dissects the ugly and the absurd as he discusses the new book, The Life of Singleton, from Boyz N the Hood to Snowfall. So stay tuned. All this and our Bronx updates headed your way because now, yes, we are officially open. Hey there, I'm Gary Axelbank, and you're now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being simultaneously broadcast on MNN's channels. You can stay connected to us on all the social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on through this past week, as you well know. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. As you well know, the recent elections saw an historic voter turnout for New York City, the largest since the late 1960s. For our first Bronx update, reporter Brittany Schuyler brings us a report on Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson's election night watch party.
As the polls closed on what was the largest New York City election since the 1960s, Bronx Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson held a watch party at Sobro Garden, learning what the future holds for the city, and more specifically, the borough of the Bronx.
It's been an incredible day as I've traveled the borough talking to voters all over, from Co-op City to Parkchester to Pelham Bay to Morris Park to the South Bronx. There's been so much energy around this election, and I think people are very excited to come out.
While Zohran Mamdani will become the city's new mayor on January 1st, the incumbent will begin her second and final term as borough president. According to the Associated Press, she secured 82.8% of the vote, with more than 166,000 ballots cast in her favor, proving just how impactful it is to use your voice and exercise your right to vote.
Particularly the people who think it doesn't matter, the one question that I would always pose to a person is, if it didn't matter, would people work so hard to keep it away from you?
The now borough president-elect tells us what Bronxites can expect for the next 4 years.
We will always stand up for you. We will always make sure that the voices of our residents are always at the forefront of these conversations, and the very best is yet to come.
Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany Schuyler.
All right, next we're going to examine the 13th annual Miss Abbie's Halloween Health and Wellness Celebration. You might remember that we had previously had the Executive Director, Shaniqua Charles, and the artist join us on this program. And now let's see how the celebration unfolded. By the way, is brought to you by the same reporter, Brittany Schuyler.
With the mission to mix spooky fun with healthy habits, Miss Abbie's kids hosted their 13th annual Halloween Health and Wellness Block Party.
So the spirit of this event is really, really simple. It is a tool being used to teach young people better things to put into their body, better activities to get into that'll nourish not only their hearts, their minds, but their spirits.
Over the past 13 years, Miss Abbie's Kids has reached more than 31,000 young people through this annual celebration, turning Halloween into a day centered on wellness, safety, and community care.
Miss Charles is somebody that cares deeply about the Bronx. She cares deeply about her block.
It's become a tradition for many families. Some of the same faces return year after year, with older attendees now giving back as volunteers, helping the next generation stay healthy and connected.
They came with us. They came on the journey with us. They've loved on community alongside of us. And we've demonstrated that over 31,000 young people served with just that one event annually that we hold.
One mother told us events like this are especially meaningful for her son, who is autistic, saying the inclusive and supportive environment allows every child to celebrate at their own pace.
I believe that exposing him to different environments where there's more children gathered helps him expand his social skills.
After 13 years, Miss Abbie's Halloween Health and Wellness Block Party continues to prove that community care can be both festive and impactful, reminding families that the best treat of all is good health. Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany Schuyler.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we'll take a look at the First Somos Care Fest that was held at Hostos Community College. This report comes from Chris Camella.
To celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month here at Hostos Community College, the Somos Community Care Group is putting together its first annual Care Fest. This free indoor festival not only provides tons of health resources and supplies to the public, but also finds a way to include a little fun and family bonding in the process.
We're just excited to serve and to help out.
And help is what the Somos Care Fest is all about, bringing an afternoon of excitement, education, and extensive resources and supplies to the South Bronx community.
We are here to help the people of the Bronx, people that are struggling to pay rent, people that are struggling to put food on their table, people that are struggling to get to where they need to be, that need to be case managed, that don't know how to fill out an application for assistance and so forth.
Alongside the New York State Office of Mental Health and the City Health Department, this display of food, live music, school supply giveaways, and wellness and mental health screenings, all free of charge, are only a few of the many opportunities visiting families here have to look forward to. Local elected officials and organization representatives at the event tell BronxNet events like these are crucial towards alleviating the Bronx's lack of access to essential resources, underscored by major health and food deserts.
The Bronx, unfortunately, for many, many years has been found to be the unhealthiest county in the entire state of New York, with high rates of obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure.
Transportation, food insecurity, housing.
Somos Board Chairman Ramon Talaj says that more families can proactively address their health issues early and actively with these organizations coming to underserved communities instead of the other way around.
It's not waiting for them to come to see us, it's us go to do a service to them. That's what Somos is all about.
The ongoing mission is to create a more seamless pathway for everyone to receive the support they need, not just to live, but to thrive in their communities.
We take care of 900,000 patients in this community.
People in the Bronx really, really need help, and that's what makes us so happy to do this and to do everything for free for the community so that they can come and get some relief and get an afternoon where there's fun.
From Hostos Community College on the Grand Concourse, Chris Camella, BronxNet Community Television.
Thanks, Chris. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
We're going to start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express that? Thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit BronxNet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
All right, welcome back to Open in a landmark effort to close one of New York City's deepest digital divides. The Bronx Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Google, launched the AI Advantage, a first-of-its-kind digital training initiative program designed to empower 70 Bronx entrepreneurs by providing intensive training, mentorship, and seed capital, enabling them to harness the power of artificial intelligence and other digital tools to grow and scale their businesses through a new community-based model. Please welcome the Bronx Chamber of Commerce President, my buddy Lisa Sorin. Always nice to see you.
Always a pleasure, Gary, and thank you for having me here.
Well, let's just, before we even talk about the AI thing, how are we doing? When you look at Bronx commerce right now, how is the Chamber doing and where are we at?
We are doing phenomenal.
Really?
Absolutely. I think we're back to the Bronx being on the uplift, the resurgence of what we are from the past. You know, I think the Chamber has really embraced the fact of over 27,000 businesses that look to the Chamber for information and education and training. And we are focused on advocacy and working towards making sure that all our businesses have what they need to really thrive in our borough.
It's very comforting to hear you say 27,000. Do the math. That's like a lot. So let's just talk about this AI thing. AI is out there. It's available. What was the germ of the idea that got you and all of us to this point? And then we'll talk about what the implications are.
Well, AI has been a conversation both at the state, I mean, literally all over the world. And last year we had our Bronx Gala, the Bronx Ball. And we decided to really test the waters about what people believed about what AI is. And we brought in an advanced humanoid from overseas.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Sophia. And Sophia...
She has a name.
She has a name. She actually did a music video, is my understanding. But the reason I brought her in was because to demystify the fear that people have around AI. And that is an extreme, right? An advanced humanoid is way in the future for us. But AI is something so simple for our businesses, but the idea is very scary. People don't understand it. They see it as a big monster replacing jobs and businesses, when in reality, if you stay on top of it, you will go right there along with other businesses and stay active and thriving in your business.
So if you have a business, let's say a small business owner or an entrepreneur in the Bronx, how does he or she actually use AI? Because I know when I type an email, all of a sudden I'm getting suggestions on how to write. I'm not particularly fond of that. I'm a good writer. I don't need them to tell me what to write. But how would a business then use this whole concept to help them do better?
And that's an excellent question. And I think it boils down to the basics. You know, are you using social media and are you using it correctly? What type of photos are you putting out there to really promote your business? What problems do you have at the point of sales that can give you ideas, right? AI isn't about the solution for all, but if you have real deep questions about something that you need to do, prompting the computer, prompting with regular questions and getting suggestions, right? Just like you said, you write an email and you're getting suggestions. This is suggestions plus a little bit more to help guide your business for it to be successful.
So you say, okay, should we offer a new product or something like that? And then I'm just guessing now, because who knows? You then input a little bit about your business, the kind of things you offer, and then AI may respond and say, sure, offer this, or why don't you offer larger, or something of that nature.
And it's suggestions, right? It's nothing like they know, because it's a computer. At the end of the day, computers will never replace humans. Right? Somebody's got to program this thing.
Gary's going to applaud for that.
So it really is about learning what is AI, ChatGPT? Is it Gemini? Is it, you name it? There's so many little apps and things that you can use. What we're trying to do is, I don't want to say dumb it down, layman's, put it into real layman's terms, because I myself,
Make it accessible.
clueless. Correct, so that you understand it's, all it is, I do my comparisons to when we first got a microwave, right? People looked at this thing and you're gonna die and it's gonna kill us and it's taking up your counter space. Now here we are 20, 30 years later and we can't live without our microwaves. It'll basically go down that same path of, it's scary, let me learn it, let me perfect it, now I can take it to the next level.
One of the really interesting things about this is a partnership with a little organization called Google. How did that come about? And I can't even imagine who you would call to say, hey, we want to set up a partnership. I don't, you know, but how did that come about? And what does Google provide the Bronx Chamber of Commerce and our entrepreneurs that is useful?
Well, I will tell you this, Google reached out to us. I will say...
How smart they are.
Well, you know, I think that they realize they're the pros, right? And so, but they also realize that micro businesses need the help. Corporations have what it takes, but micro businesses in boroughs like ours, where almost 90% of businesses are micro, under 10 employees, is there the time? Is there the ability to learn this in sort of like a fast pace? And so Google said to us, look, we're not going to tell you how to do this. We're going to say, please provide 70 businesses with the core of what they need to develop an AI within their business. So they told us 70 businesses. We put out the application October 6th. How exciting, we have a wait list already. It'll be 3 cohorts, and we have some amazing entrepreneurs in the Bronx, and we don't give them enough credit, but we still carry that stigma of that digital divide. And so our job as the chamber is to break down that digital divide a little bit at a time. And thanks to Google, we're able to do this. So it's putting together a curriculum, very basic, to show you what is AI, what does it mean, what does it look like on a computer, on your tablet, on your phone. Next is, what would be a core thing that would help your business? The majority say it's social media, it's the presence of online, which, believe it or not, there's one district here in the Bronx that has almost 70% of their businesses using no technology whatsoever.
Wow.
And
did you say one district, like one
district.
Geographic area?
That's correct.
Do you care to share what?
Well, right now we're working very closely.
Okay.
But it's, you know, and it's not meant to degrade, it's meant to say the need is there, right? And because we have feet on the ground and we have our small business resource network, our team comes back and says, this is the area we need to focus on. We need to give them tools. That's our job. So applications October 6th, there is already a wait list. Are we telling them to stop applying? No, please don't, because this will guide us for 2026.
And you can also grow the program, of course.
To grow the program and develop.
So was it, are businesses selected on appropriateness or on first come, you know, the first 70 that applied? Yes.
No, there was a full application, because at the end of the day, it really has to be meaningful, right? This shouldn't just be a fly-by-night opportunity. This really is to mend, you're done at your month, and you come out and you have a true product or an understanding of what you get. And then we have a little incentive at the end of it, which they will be extremely happy for, but we're not totally getting out there with that piece of news, because what we really want is businesses to understand the value that comes with AI.
And what kinds of businesses are most appropriate when they fill out the application? What makes you and your colleagues say, this is a good one?
I think
I'll list them. Stores, little stores.
Believe it or not, across the board, it's even. Because you can use it for a dollar store or bodega. Do they have the same needs? Probably not. Do they use the POS system? Are you, a dollar store may have an online presence where a bodega is starting to or showcase some of their products, right? So it's a level playing field. I think technology really at some point, given the proper tools for businesses, will become a level playing field no matter the size or industry.
And even service businesses like, let's say, real estate or accounting? Or
absolutely.
Like
those probably would be higher on the higher end, because those to some degree have always used technology.
They use technology and they may not be in the habit especially if they've been around a little while, because they didn't grow up with this new technology, so they may not be in the habit of doing stuff a different way, and this is a way of educating them. You mentioned the training program.
Correct.
Is it virtual training like Zoom, or are you bringing people in a room?
We are all virtual.
All virtual.
It's virtual until the graduation and the final product.
Graduation.
Because we want them to feel empowered. Plus, we want to present them their gift, which they will be thrilled about, by the way.
Right.
But it is intro to AI, how to use AI in the marketing. And this is very general in marketing, and there's levels of that. And then there is cybersecurity, and a level of ethics within that training.
What measuring stick will you use to determine if this was a successful or this has worked for a business? Simply that they've grown their business, or is there another way you're going to
We'd like to, Google is very interested in that, so that's a phenomenal question. I think while they're going through the process, if they can give us an idea what they would like, that one point, and we will follow it through the end and then follow up with them afterwards.
Got it. Lisa Sorin, thank you so much. Always
My
wonderful
pleasure.
to be with you and see you and bring in stuff that'll grow the Bronx. For more information, folks can visit the Bronx Chamber of Commerce website, bronxchamber.org, or you can follow them on Instagram at the new BXCC. So there we go. Thank you again,
you
Lisa.
so much.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Open right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. .55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. .34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
All right, welcome back to Open. After decades of planning the community's vision for the historic Kingsbridge Armory, yes, it's moving forward. The Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition, joined by a powerful coalition of faith, labor, community organizations, and the people of the Bronx, when it got engaged in a successful negotiation of community benefits and a community benefits agreement with the selected developer, 8th Regiment Partners. Here to tell us what this means for jobs, housing, and the future of the Northwest Bronx and the future for all of us is our buddy, the Executive Director of NWBCCC. It is Sandra Lobo. Nice to see you again, Sandra.
Thanks for being here.
Always good. And Elisabeth Ortega-Bailey, who is a member of NWBCCC. Nice to see you too, Elisabeth. Sandra, big moment, right? This is it. After you mentioned to us before 3 decades, 30 years of trying to figure it out. What's the deal, and why is this so exciting for you and for all of us?
Exciting indeed. It has been 3 decades, and so this is really the final stage of the negotiations, of the visioning of all of the things that the Bronx has been hoping for the Armory. So the Community Benefits Agreement really is a reflection of the vision that the community has been asking for.
There were a lot of attempts at trying to figure out what to do with the Armory. Why did this one work? Why does it work for you? Why does it work for NWBCCC? And we listed all the other people, but most importantly for the residents of the local area.
That's right. I mean, I think what's unique about this time around, and three's a charm, Gary, but what's unique about this time is that there was a visioning process. And so I was very grateful to be a co-chair of a visioning process with Pierina Sanchez, a council member, and we engaged over 4,000 people in that process who had an opportunity to really discuss what they wanted, what the priorities were, what they were worried about, what they really desired. This project is a reflection of that. So we're very proud to say that not only is the programming a reflection of what residents wanted, but the community benefits agreement ensures and codifies that in a legally binding agreement.
Elisabeth, for you, just talk about it, if you would, NWBCCC. You don't have to say anything about Sandra because she does a great job. But what is it about the organization and its mission and the way it operates that helped to facilitate this really incredible development in the Bronx?
One, I would say, is the dedication to its members. So we have a lot of longtime members and the dedication to the community, which I think is very reflective of the visioning process. So they're really there to listen to folks who live in the community. We know what we want, right? We've lived here our whole lives. We are the expert of the Kingsbridge area.
We know what works.
We know the Bronx,
and
work.
So yeah, that's right.
They're going to listen to us, and so I think that was something that's made me be here for a very long time.
There were so many hearings and visioning sessions. I mean, I participated in some and just watched others. Was there anything surprising that you said, gee, I had no idea the community wanted this? Or was everything that you saw, yep, we want this, this, and this?
I think it was surprising that overwhelmingly everyone wanted what we wanted, right? So we did.
So there was real unanimity out there.
Yes.
Wow. And name some of those things. I guess we've already listed them. But
I think like community access, living wage jobs, good paying wages, union labor, access to the space. I think that's something that all folks wanted, as well as like community ownership. Like that was something that was also very prominent in the visioning process, was that we wanted to own it. It's been there for so long and it hasn't been used. Why can't we have it?
Sandra, why does this organization, now let's see, they're called the 8th Regiment, who are they and why did that kind of work for achieving the goals that we just heard Elisabeth talk about?
Yeah, so 8th Regiment Partners is made up of Mad Equities, and they are a prominent developer, housing developer in the Bronx and in New York City. And I think what made this work is really their openness to negotiating. They, I think, really believed in the vision that the community was bringing forth, that they wanted to see in the Armory, and they were really, open to hard negotiations to ensure that the community actually has a document that can verify.
As opposed to top down, it was really grassroots
That's right.
up.
That's right.
Now there are things in there. Listen, we've heard about the Ice Center. We know about all those things. Where people who've been in there, I have been in there. That huge drill floor. People said, well, this could be, like a performing arts place. Could be a basketball court, and all those kinds of things. But then I heard things like housing and other things. Talk about the structural potential reformation of the Armory that's going to include those things. It never occurred to me. We know we need housing, but it never occurred to me that was a source for maybe even addressing one of those very difficult problems.
Right. So the Kingsbridge Armory is a landmark building, as you know, and so housing can't actually go inside the Armory. That will be live events. It'll have a manufacturing hub. It'll be community space. So that will be inside the Kingsbridge Armory itself. Adjacent to the Armory, where currently the National Guard resides, that is where the housing will be situated.
And in terms of inside it, now I have been in there, and the lower floors, a lot of people don't know because they've seen the big drill floor, and it's a huge, larger than the gymnasium. It's just this huge place, but there's a lot of room down there. I know in some of the dialogues, and so I don't know where it's at now, it seemed like a perfect place to put like a market of some kind. Is that what's going to be down there, or how do you see the other areas of the Armory that people don't readily know about because they haven't been in there and downstairs?
Right. So the primary anchor tenant is going to be live events venue. And so there's actually a really creative design and thinking about adding another floor to that massive space where you're going to be able to have concerts, you're going to be able to have graduations. I mean, many of the high schools and colleges in the Bronx actually have to go downtown to host these kinds of events. This will now be able to happen in the Bronx. There will also be an affordable manufacturing hub that Northwest Bronx is the owner of that will invite Bronx-based businesses, that many of which have been displaced from the Bronx, to come back to the Bronx and to house their manufacturing businesses right in the Armory.
What kind manufacturing? I mean, what kind
light manufacturing.
Right, I realize, but so what kinds of things could qualify?
So
for that?
Making apparel. It could be a coffee roastery. It could be food distributors. So that's businesses that are producing goods that can be distributed across New York City and the tri-state area.
Elisabeth, let's just talk about the kind of control of the building into the future, because once, the plan is there, then what role does NWBCCC have in that? And then how do we make sure that it stays community and grassroots driven, as opposed to, well, the developer now will tell us what to do?
So the community benefits agreement is a legally binding contract, and so we've had over 30 signatories who signed on to be legally responsible to make sure that what is in the community benefits agreement remains true for the 99 years that it is open. And so a part of that is by creating a community advisory council, which they will have between 13 to 15 different representatives of the signatories who signed the CBA, to maintain and monitor and make sure that those commitments are being met throughout those 99 years.
This is, what you just said for me, it started to get me really excited, because this is really a unique way of doing business in the Bronx. I guess you and others are hoping that this would kind of set the tone that it's about us and not about somebody else.
Exactly.
Right? Sandra, so let's just tell people what they need to know now, like what's next, because construction is going to be a big thing. I mean, this is a big project. Are we concerned about, let's say, the businesses on the corridor of Kingsbridge Road? I mean, what's next and how is it going to unfold?
Yeah. That's an excellent question. First step for us is really having information sessions about the CBA, about the Community Benefits Agreement. We want to make sure that people in the community, businesses, young people, workers, understand what's in that document so they know how to take advantage of those opportunities. This coming year will be an opportunity to collect folks and advertise what are the opportunities that people can take advantage of, specifically around the jobs that are coming. Construction is going to start in earnest in 2027. And so we really need to prepare. 2026 is about preparing all of those businesses, preparing all of those workers to take advantage of it.
Well, this is darn exciting. I'm just thrilled beyond belief. I'm really looking forward to seeing what transpires, not only for the Armory, but hey, maybe this is how we could do business across the borough for big projects. Sandra Lobo, Executive Director of NWBCCC, thank you so much for everything. And Elisabeth Ortega-Bailey, also a member of NWBCCC, thank you so much. Keep fighting. See, I'm preaching to the choir. Keep fighting, like they don't know. Thank you again so much.
Gary.
For more information, by the way, you can visit the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition website at northwestbronx.org. So don't go away. You think we're leaving? No, we'll be right back with more Open after this.
There's a new channel to explore, and it's bringing the classics back to life. During the day, relive the BronxNet originals that sparked conversations and built community. At night, dive into the hip-hop throwbacks that defined a generation. One destination, two powerful lineups. Now playing on Optimum Channel 952, FiOS 2138, and streaming at BronxNet.tv. BX Legacy, where history meets the moment.
Welcome back. We're so happy you've joined us on Open. The life of our next guest was the definition of a New York entrepreneur's relentless pace, high stress, minimal sleep, constant networking, and frequent, frankly, social drinking. When he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart-related issues, he knew that he had to make a change. So here to tell us more about his lifestyle change and what it can mean for all of us is the CEO of MD Logic Health, Wesley Ramjeet. Mr. Ramjeet, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Gary.
So
it's a real pleasure.
Tell me a little bit about where you were that led you to this point to come up with this concept.
So, like you said in your opening statement, at 50 years old, I was a typical immigrant New Yorker, burning the candles at both ends, working during the day, networking at night, no sleep, lots of stress, and social drinking. So it was kind of the trifecta. And the day before my 50th birthday, I was in my office and let's just say I passed out. And
wow.
That was a wake-up call for me, that I really need to reevaluate, what's important in my life, and prioritize my health. And that was the turning point of taking control of what was happening to me. And, I saw a lot of doctors, and they, most of the doctors that I spoke to or consulted with, it was all about medication. There was no real effort to educate me about where the foundational issues were and what I need to change in my lifestyle, food, sleep, exercise, and putting a plan together.
So then you came up with MD Logic Health, right? So then you've decided to create this solution for you and others in that circumstance.
Well, it was a little different because my background, I buy a lot of companies. I consult for a lot of companies in M&A. So this opportunity came up to purchase the MD Logic brand, which was actually started by a doctor because he couldn't find the proper supplementation for his clients. And when he started the brand, he only sold to his patients and other doctors. So when he passed away and the brand became available, to me, it was the perfect situation to get control of and really dive into the world of nutritional supplements.
So this was Dr. Steinfeld, right?
That's correct.
That's who we're talking about. What I like about what even this dialogue is about is the fact that you go to a doctor and they give you a prescription, but it doesn't solve the problems. There's a whole background to it. And this is really what sounds to me like a common sense approach to addressing, health issues, but also health issues that are derived from stress and other things going on in your life.
100%. I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist. I'm a CPA, but this is common sense approach to getting healthy.
And so what is that approach and how does that apply, and what can you tell us and viewers about why this works and how this works?
So for me personally, the way I got to getting better, it was really doing a lot of research and talked to a lot of bright people that were sort of pushing natural remedies, whether it was combination of food and supplements or a different lifestyle. And there's a lot of them out there. And, I spend a lot of time understanding that and, consulting with people to make sure that the path that I'm picking, multiple people agreed with it, right? So, the big thing for me was getting more sleep. The other thing was reducing my stress, which is probably the hardest one. When you're running multiple businesses and you have a demanding life, it really affects your stress level. So you have to find time to detach and sort of, on a daily basis, reduce that stress, whether it's meditation, religion, yoga, whatever is your drug. That's, you kind of try and embrace that every day.
Try to find things that make you feel good, in a healthy way. Talk about the products that we just saw on our screen. Talk a little bit about those and why those are good choices for people going through these kinds of circumstances.
So we have a complete line of products. We have more than 50 products in our catalog, and we solve different issues for our customers. So we start with, we break it into two sort of sectors, the body and the mind. And we have supplements that help you improve your mood, helps you with, if you get depressed during the winter time. And then we deal with the physical side with supplements that helps with your heart, your working out, things like creatine. And then gut health is a big one for us. Colostrum is one of our big sellers because it tends to, heal your gut. And we make digestive enzymes, which we especially in today's world where a lot of people are changing their diet with a lot of protein, digesting it becomes an issue. So our digestive enzymes are a pretty big seller as well.
How do you know for yourself and the situation that you described that led to this point, how do you know that this is working for you? I mean, are you different now? Are some of your even medical issues addressed? Is your mental stress different? I mean, talk firsthand, if you would, about how what you're preaching here can really help somebody do better for themselves.
Yeah, so I'll talk about a couple of different things. But when I was in New York, living this lifestyle, my energy level was very low. I was tired all the time. I had brain fog, and so it was an effort to get through the day. And since I've changed my lifestyle and changed my supplement routine and the things I take, I now have no brain fog.
Wow.
And physically, I'm much stronger.
Wow.
The past 4 years, I restarted playing tennis. I play tennis 3 to 4 times a week.
Mr. Ramjeet, we've got to move on. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but what you just described is the answer. I mean, this is what people can do. So we sincerely appreciate your time with us. I'm going to tell people for more information, they can visit the mdlogichealth.com website. And thank you so much for joining us. It's inspiring. There are answers to some of the most difficult personal issues, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Folks, don't go away. We got more. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet Community Media classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
Okay, back with you on Open. And Thomas, I'm going to pronounce it right, I hope. If he can get Axelbank, I can get Golianopoulos correct. Is a New York-based writer and editor for publications including The Times, a Hollywood reporter. He's known for work that often delves into the ugly and the absurd. He is a generalist whose subjects range from celebrity profiles like Eminem and Dwight Howard to deep investigative features. And he has his new book, The Life of Singleton, From Boyz N the Hood to Snowfall. The next guest is Thomas Golianopoulos. Nice to have you with us, sir.
Great to be here, thanks.
Let's just talk about background first. You were just telling me you're a Bronx science guy.
Yes.
So there you go. But how did you get into writing and doing what you do?
So I was on track to become a teacher.
Okay.
And then I did one day in student teaching when I was in school at NYU, and I came straight back to campus and I told my college advisor,
I ain't doing this.
I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I was taking some journalism classes, and I actually had a great experience. It was actually on election night 2000, and I had a great experience reporting that, and my professor was very encouraging, and I got into journalism, internships, and then after I graduated, I followed the typical track, fact checker, writer, editor, and here I am.
The intro we had explained a range of different things. Do you have a certain type of writing you love, or just being able to express and do that thing is real? It doesn't matter to you what you work on.
Well, I started out in music magazines, like writing for a rap magazine, and called The Source. And my love was always like feature writing. Like 2,000, 3,000 word profiles, investigative pieces, reported pieces, and it wasn't like just the typical kind of like, oh, here's this celebrity, let's write about him. It was always like trying to find like left field stories, trying to find the right angle. Like instead of doing a story on just Kobe Bryant as a basketball player, I did like this deep dive into his rap career. Instead of doing a story on like a football story, I did a story on a feature story on alcohol and football fans. In particular, this one night in Buffalo where there were 2 alcohol-related deaths. So I would try to find like strange angles, dark angles, interesting angles to
What
stories.
this communicates, I mean, we're just meeting for the first time. What this communicates to me is that you always believe there's something kind of below the surface worth telling that people don't know about, and you feel empowered to tell that story.
Exactly, but it all is based on reporting and finding it out, not just intuitiveness or my opinions.
We'll talk about the book in a second, but I'm always interested in the muse, in the notion. So when you write, when you sit down to write, do you have to throw everybody away, or are you the sort that could sit on the subway and take notes?
Never.
You have to have a closed door in a closed room to do it?
Silence, maybe some jazz.
There you go.
But I can't. I had a friend who sent me this playlist while I was writing the book, which was mostly like 70s kind of soul and funk that I wrote a lot to. But yeah, I cannot like, I have 2 kids, so I can do like research around them, but I can't actually write around them.
So with all the stuff that you've done, how did we lead up to the life, and it's a long title, and I'm going to make sure to get it right, The Life of Singleton, from Boyz with a YZ in the Hood to Snowfall. How did we get from all the things we just talked about to that?
Well, it started from a story I wrote in 2006. I did an oral history of Boyz N the Hood, which was John Singleton's first film. He was nominated for 2 Academy Awards. He was the youngest ever nominee for Best Director and the first black person to be nominated for Best Director. And I reported on that story in 2006. And through the years, I did some other stories that kind of were connected to John Singleton's movies. I did a story on Tupac Shakur's acting career. And of course, he was the star of John Singleton's second movie, Poetic Justice. Really, I wrote a piece during COVID, actually, in 2000, on this actor who was in Boyz N the Hood, who was friends with Singleton, and he kind of became that role after the movie came out. His name was Lloyd Avery, and he played a gangbanger in Boyz N the Hood, but he was actually a middle-class kid from a good home, but he kind of became that role afterwards, and he ended up, going to prison.
I was going
for
to say,
murder.
that's a story in itself.
Yeah, no,
The way you
that
just
article was
described it.
published.
Yeah,
So then,
yeah.
like, there were a lot of connections there, and sources who were familiar with both Lloyd Avery, obviously, and John Singleton. Singleton passed away in 2019, and I was reading biographies at the time, and one of Singleton's friends was like, "You should try to write a book on John if you're going this deep into this one actor who was, friends with him. Why don't you, do a book on this guy who was nominated for Academy Awards, had this rich history, incredible filmography, and, was the executive producer of Snowfall, which ran for 6 seasons on FX and was a highly rated, very critically acclaimed show."
So what did you learn that you didn't know that you felt comfortable about telling in the book? In other words, a lot of it is out there. You knew a lot about it, but then, of course, to write something of interest that was interesting to you and, of course, to people, what did you learn?
A lot. I had close to 400 interviews for the book.
400?
Yeah. I worked on it for like 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
It kind of overtook my life. And so there was a lot of new stuff that I learned.
I don't know if that's the good news or the bad news, but okay.
What I learned was, obviously everybody knows that Boyz N the Hood is kind of autobiographical, but what I learned through reporting this book was how much all of his films were a part of him, how he had this movie called Baby Boy, which came out in 2001, which was probably almost as autobiographical as Boyz N the Hood was. And that was really something that I did not know going in. The other thing was professionally, how much he struggled with the transition from film to television, and how it's just a totally different medium as for writers and for directors. And how in film, the director is king, and in writing, the director is basically in television, the director is basically a cog in the machine.
Excuse me, don't tell Nick upstairs that you said that. Because, otherwise we're going to go black over here. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I approached all of it as a fan. Like, I was a fan of his films, and I was always interested in the movie industry, even like as a teenager. So like seeing like, oh, why did he leave this production deal in the mid-90s? Why did he take so long to do a follow-up feature to this, Four Brothers, which was a hit movie he had in 2005? Why did the guy who did these like personal films do a Fast and the Furious sequel, which is a total 180 from where he started out? So like that kind of drove me throughout the entire process, was just trying to like, learn, figure things out for myself as a fan and like satisfy my curiosity.
As an artist, and we'll call you an artist in your own way. I don't mean drawing an artist, but as a creator then, were you satisfied at sometimes, I know when somebody's making a painting, they don't know when to stop.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you feel like you got it all, or like after you were done, a week later you said, oh?
No, never satisfied. Like,
I knew that was going to be
I was
the
like
case.
making changes up until like the day before it went to the printer. the other day I was having a conversation with someone and I was like, I cannot believe I did not insert this anecdote into the book. I can't believe I forgot to, I can't believe I didn't fight harder, you know, with my editor to put this in the book or to leave this in. So I was kind of never satisfied, is anyone really truly satisfied?
Well, is anybody ever really satisfied? Did you work with an editor at all?
Of course, yeah. It's for Anscape Publishing, which is a subsidiary of Anscape Books, which is a subsidiary of Disney Publishing.
Right.
I had an editor who I had known. Lucky enough, I had known her for like 20 years, like going back to the magazine world. So we had a really good relationship, and I feel like I was always. A lot of writers are very precious about their words, and I, from a young age, was always cognizant that someone knows better than me, which an editor, and I fully kind of trusted her, luckily, because we had this relationship, and she's an incredible writer and editor in her own respect. So yeah, I was. Of course, I had an editor. Yeah.
After you do something like this, that's so all-encompassing for years and 400 interviews, I can't even imagine. Do you, and you put the book to bed, and it's done. Do you take a deep breath, or are you the sort that says, "Okay, now I got to do this"? Like, do you have your next project lined up yet?
I had to find a job. So that was the main focus in the time after the book went to the printers in March. So I had to find a job. I did spend a month where I just watched movies and worked out a lot. I went to the gym a lot because I needed to decompress. But no, I immediately started thinking about what to do next. Yeah.
You know what? You ought to go home and take a nap and relax, because you really I know exactly, because I'm like that kind of person too. You just can't stop. It's always for me, it's always the next show or the next thing.
Right.
So listen, well, Tom Golianopoulos, thank you so much.
You.
Congratulations, the author of The Life of Singleton, From Boyz N the Hood to Snowfall. Congratulations on getting there, and
Thank you.
Congratulations on all the next stuff that you're going to do, and we hope you'll come back to Bronx open. We appreciate your time. For more information about Thomas, by the way, please go to Golianopoulos.com, or you can follow him on Instagram at Golianopoulos. So that's it. Wow, what a great show. I've had a great time. We thank Daren, of course, for not being here so I could be here. And we want to thank all our guests for joining. And, of course, it's always about the people of the Bronx. We thank you for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the re-cablecast on Optimum Channel 67, Verizon Fios 2133, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. And, of course, catch a brand new episode of Open with my buddy Rena Valentine on Friday. And that's it for us. We'll see you around town on Bronx Talk as well. Take care. Oh, by the way, make sure to keep this channel wide open, okay? We'll see you around town. Thank you.